Hey there, Northern Plains responders and RMPs. Chrissy Brooks with Health and Safety. We are going to go through this week's hypothetical, week ending 3/29, and we are doing unknown with odor. So this is a stinky one. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so we are going to read every word out loud using our decision tree because it's good practice and it keeps our mind fresh. All right, here is our situation. A wet box with no diamond labels or other hazard warnings is leaking a small amount on the floor in a trailer. An unknown liquid is spreading on the floor from this box. There are no fumes that irritate the skin, visible fumes, or smoke from this package. However, there is a strong, irritating odor that makes your eyes water and your nose and throat burn. You do not have SCBA in your facility, which nobody does anymore. So we're going to answer the questions below based on this scenario. I'm going to let you go through your decision tree. Go ahead and pause, and we'll be back in just a minute. All right, so this is a fairly straightforward damage. Right here in our first box, our very first question is a yes. So that first question is this leaking package generating heat, smoke, visible fumes, vapors, irritating the skin or eyes in any way? It is. It's making our eyes water, burning. Well, it doesn't say anything about skin, but it's making our eyes water. So that's going to lead us all the way down here to the bottom to our red box. We're not going to clean this up. We're going to call our environmental coordinator. We are going to let them get somebody in here to clean this up for us. We are not going to deal with something that's making our eyes water and making our nose and our throat burn. Not going to do it. All right, so now this one is kind of tricky. Which response sheet or containment sheet did the responder utilize for this spill? A lot of you are probably going to answer this one, no label or unknown. The reason that that one is not correct is because we're activating the chain of command. It tells us right here in this red box that we need to follow the chain of command and notify your environmental coordinator. So when we activate that chain of command, that means that we're going to be going to a containment sheet, not a response sheet. So if you're ever in this red box, you're always going to be going to your containment sheets tab instead of your response sheets tab. So we're going to end up on our containment sheets tab. And when we open up our containment sheets, the very first one that comes up is prohibited or responses requiring activation of the chain of command. So this is the sheet that we need to pick. So prohibited / chain of command activated. That's the response sheet that we need to choose. And I'm going to give you the answer on this one because when we have something of this nature, which happens occasionally, that you've got something that spills and it's making your eyes burn, your nose is burning, you're coughing, something like that, we don't want to mess with that stuff. So I want you guys to do the correct thing. And in this situation, the correct thing, if your eyes are watering, your nose and your throat is burning, we are going to call our environmental coordinator. This response sheet might tell you to do a handful of different things. None of them actually apply on here, but I wanted to especially make this a big point because we've had situations in the past where we've had responders that have tried to power through and then somebody's ended up getting hurt or ended up getting exposed. If it's burning your eyes, you know, your nose, your throat, your skin hurts, something like that, stop. Call your environmental coordinator. I still would like you to read through your response sheet. We want to make sure that we're still wearing our PPE, even when we're not doing the cleanup, just in case. And we want to make sure that we are reading down here as well. Waste disposal and decontamination UPS small package. Do not process through the DMP. Contact your environmental coordinator for proper disposal procedures. So that's going to be a hint on our next set of questions about the waste disposal flow chart. So let's go ahead and move on. So can you sign into the MFA page with your RACF and token? I sure hope so. If not, get in touch with that health and safety supervisor. Again, ETT, hopefully you can get in. All right, I know I need to access this waste disposal flowchart for every leaker that I will dispose of and can get into the quick reference guide and ETT to reference it. So yes, I want you to notice here, for every leaker that I will dispose of. Now we're calling in an outside responder, so we're not going to be disposing of this leaker. We're not, they are, the outside responder. So we're not going to be utilizing the waste disposal flowchart. Our response sheet right here tells us to contact our environmental coordinator for disposal procedures. So we're not going to use this disposal chart. If you flip back to your response sheets and check, let's see, let's go to page 7 right here. And if you read that very first line in your waste disposal and decontamination, it says, actually it's the bottom one. No, it's not. It is. It's the top bullet point. UPS small package, designated responders shall refer to the waste disposal chart. So if it doesn't tell you that on the bottom of the sheet, we're not going to the waste disposal chart. That's why I've had a lot of people that are confused. They say, well, I'm supposed to call the environmental coordinator. Yes, you're supposed to call the environmental coordinator when you end up in one of these boxes. So if we're not disposing of it, we're not going to use this at all. We're not going to use this chart. I think I explained that well enough. Does everybody get it? We're not using the waste disposal flow chart on this one. So we're going to click that one because we activated our chain of command. Get off my little soapbox. All right, RCRA clean containers. What are we going to do with those? And hint, because a handful of you are still getting this one wrong, these are your containers that you've emptied and solidified all of the liquid from. So if they're empty, we're going to throw them away. And that's less than 1 inch or less than 3%. So they're considered empty when we've got less than 1 inch or less than 3%. Then we can toss our RCRA clean container. What tool do we use that tells us how to dispose of hazardous materials? Waste disposal flow chart. But hey, remember, we didn't use it on this one, did we? All right, and I've completed my DOK for responder or RMP this month. Hopefully you've already got it done because we are getting towards the end of the month. If you don't know what a DOK is, hey, shoot me an email. But I'm on vacation this week, so I will not be answering emails. If you need something, though, shoot me an email so that I still get it. And then it tells you who to contact for whatever it is that you need from me. All right, which operation do you work for? We're going to use our drop downs here. Fill in your information. Again, if you are not able to find your name in the drop down list, contact that health and safety supervisor or your transportation compliance supervisor. They will get you your respiratory indicator turned back on so that you can be in the drop downs. That does take a week. So if you're not on there this week, it will be next week before you need to complete another hypo. All right, that's all that I've got for you this week. Again, I am on vacation. So if you have questions about the hypo, if you have questions about the hypothetical file, please contact Joni Jonesgard. Give her an email, shoot her a phone call, whatever. She's covering for me while I'm on vacation. And I will see everybody when I get back. Have a great week.